make me a liar. My heart's heating up, this love is on fire, love is on fire, on fire. Ooh, ooh. If I say goodbye, then make me a liar, make me a liar. If I say goodbye, then make me a liar, make me a liar. My heart's heating up, this love is on fire, love is on fire, on fire. If I say goodbye.
Welcome everyone to round 2 of the Dynamic Nights Esports at Interlagos, Brazil at the Tier 1 Masters Championship. The Brazilian Grand Prix has hosted many influential races throughout history. Now overlooking the track map of Brazil, we're looking at 9 corners to the left and 6 to the right for the total of 15 corners. This is a 2.6 mile circuit, roughly around 135 miles per hour average speeds, and that's if the track stays dry. Looking at the Drivers' Championship after round 1, Amazing Hour taking the win, getting inside that 3-second margin to take the top spot as well as the fastest lap. G-Force Aaron, who had a great start at the Grand Prix in the wet, just couldn't hold that gap when it came to the end of the race when it was starting to get nice and dry and dropping himself to P2. Wogboy, who had a fantastic ending, getting Driver of the Day as well in the 3rd spot. DNEsports, who had a consistent race, slotted himself into P5, which equaled his top spot in the previous season. Both Williams drivers finishing P6 and 7, grabbing good points for the team. Boddot, the reserve driver from the first round, grabbed good points for Mercedes, locking out that P8 spot. And Plebs and Finn Kelly finish out the top 10 for round 1. Now on to the Constructors' Championship here at Dynamic Nights Esports Masters tier, as Racing Point took Team of the Day for round 1 at Albert Park. Red Bull Racing Honda on a total of 18 points, with Alfa Romeo just 2 points behind with 16. Williams, with both drivers collecting good points for the team, are on 14 on total. G-Force Hazard in his debut race collecting P4 for 12 points total for Alpha Tau. After the race report, Tau was jumped up to P5, collecting 10 points for Renault. None of the Mercedes drivers showing up, but because of Bodhod's brilliant performance as a reserve driver, collected 4 points for the team. And finally, to round it all up, with McLaren on 2 points with Plebs and G-Force Crossy. Now on to the Tier 1 Masters Multi for round 2 here at Interlagos. Because the previous round, the safety car to kill a driver on the grid at any time is paying $7 from the first round antics with the safety car. Finn Kelly to finish inside the top 10, once again paying $4.50. Mercedes just to show up, paying $2.14. And Jay Banks to set a qualifying time, because in the first round he set a 1:19 flat, but it was invalid for the first round. Now, if all these multis hit, people are going to expect $229 of Dynamic Nights E-Bucks. Yes, we are calling it E-Bucks now. Sit back and enjoy the hot lap of Brazil from Dougie Falcons. Enjoy.
It's important to get a good run in the exit of Young Cup. And it's just a long ass run. So this is the start of our lap. Sweet. First time we finished at 69, but here was our best lap. So we got heavy braking into the center S. Hard braking, short shift to 3rd, 4th. Coming up through the gears, through curb to Sol. Take the shallower line to get the shallower to DRS early through straight. Coming down, brake just before the 50-meter board. Hard into the turning over to the Cia del Lago. To the exit of Cia del Lago, and coming up uphill to Ferradura, past the 50-meter board. Take a light brake, lift, and then accelerate through into the S section. Coming up to Little Fir Tree. And you take a short shift, come up to 3rd, 4th gear, climbing up the gears again, coming up to Duckbill. shift again, get the better traction, keep your car straight as best you can, coming into the Magulio section, and then take a wide entry to open up the corner of Yungkao and blast your way through the final, well, not really straight, but last little few turns to the start finish line. Take the shallow line to get the fastest lap time, and we come over the line to do a 1:06.759, and that.
Oh god. Okay.
Welcome everyone to round 2 of the Dynamic Nights Esports Master Tier here at Dynamic Nights Esports. In the commentary box with me, I have the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, the Smeg. And we're just about a few minutes into qualifying, but we'd like to thank our sponsors, Track Race, for all your sim racing needs, and CD Keys for all your Steam codes, Xbox and PlayStation, all linked in the description below, as well as the music supplied as well. So go check out the artist as well. But Smeggy, we've been watching these guys in the background, and we've already seen a 1-7 flat from the previous winner from round 1. So it's already hot.
Yeah.
It's already hot and spicy.
Yeah, well, considering the average time from the Diamond Championship was about mid to low 7, and that was towards the end of the session, mind you. This is at the beginning of the session. These guys are already there. And that is absolutely astonishing that they have this sort of pace already, like 5 minutes in. Like, the track hasn't even evolved yet, and they're already in the 7th. Oh my god.
I know,
Wow.
I know. They're not really messing around here. And like, these guys have no racing line as well, so like Tier 2 should be a little bit quicker, but like, this is incredible pace to start it off with. But looks like 99% of the people that I'm flicking to has a rev glitch, so that's nice.
I'm pretty okay on my end, it seems. No one's absolutely revving out at the moment, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'll go on board with OU Wingman because he's on his outlap. But funny enough, touching on the multi as well as the fantasy, on back-to-back weeks, we've had no Mercedes drivers turn up.
No.
Both of them have not given the attendance. So, like, for fantasy, if you had the big name from season 1 of 2019, the winner, as well as the Constructors' Championship, Zach Crichton in your fantasy, you have lost, I think, 40 points now in your fantasy. Gaming Burger, you've also lost the same. As well as just in the championship, as a whole, these guys have really set themselves back because Racing Point are leading the drivers and the Constructors' Championship into round 1. So these guys have got a huge step up to do, and the reserve drivers can only do so much compared to those big names as AU Wingman invalidates his lap. So
yeah, it's quite amazing, isn't it, to see the defending drivers champion and the defending manufacturers champion have both drivers not turn up to the first 2 races. I mean, don't know about you, but that's not how I would want to start the season, to try and reclaim those championships. But
it's definitely not.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, but it's just a huge setback if they have the intentions of going back to back, because it's really a huge, like, the calendar's only it's only 20 rounds, so it isn't a longer season than the last. But this is, I mean, those extra 5 races, I mean, it's not going to help you out in the long run if you're affecting it in the first couple rounds, because this is the big step that you need. You need that momentum. So, I mean, that's the biggest talking point, as well as we can see in the chat, is just a lot of drivers have put these people in their fantasy, a lot of trust, and, you know, it's big money to put these big drivers into that fantasy. So, I know, I'm one of them.
I haven't made one. I want to try and keep myself in the middle and not have any bias towards anyone while I'm commentating. I don't want to
I was thinking the same thing. I kind of didn't want to, but the inner me, I'm just like, I don't mind, you know, giving myself a little bit of a boost. That's like the multis as well, you know, we're all here to have a little bit of fun. Spilly did a 1.73, but he was like doing a drag race with Finn Kelly to the line. I think he might have been preparing for his lap. But so far, pace-wise, Jay Banks from his qualifying in round 1 has put himself just above the 07s. So he's already got that pole position because last week he was doing
Hello,
a 1.
ACW. What are you doing? At turn 3, Curva de Sol on the circuit, ACW just almost did a wingman. He sort of
Yeah.
crashed in the same place as Wingman did in Diamond. But no damage. Looking at that Red Bull, and also that Red Bull, he's in 4th place at the moment, which is a massive improvement in comparison to last week. In fact, he's in front of his teammate, Esports Aaron, who finished 2nd in that race. So quite a considerable improvement. And look how stupidly close it is.
Yeah.
Between these guys, it's amazing how it does it 6-7.
Oh my goodness.
There's 9 minutes left in the session.
What is
There's
this?
9 minutes of track evolution to take place.
Yeah, so do you reckon?
Oh god.
I don't think with track evolution we're going to see 7/10 go out the window, but man, it's going to be close. I reckon we're going to get to that point of it being esports times as well as their big qualifying times, because this is ridiculous.
I mean, we might be touching those 5s if we're lucky. Like, will we see a 5-9 just appear on the leaderboard? And who's capable of doing such a thing? I think I would definitely rate Jay Banks of doing such a time. When you've emptied all the fuel, you've got fresh tyres, and the track has evolved, and you wait right till the end of the session, it might be possible for these guys to do a 5-9. But we'll have to wait and see. As drivers are stopping to try, that's a bit messy, going through turn 6 and 7. Got cars stopped on the track, trying to let cars through.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room on this track. As I've noticed, Bodhod has made the move to Ferrari. Oh, and he catches it. I think Bodhod has a reputation of commentators catching him and making him look a bit silly, but he's quite a good driver as he gets out of the way.
Again, that is a very interesting line. That's an F1 2011 line used at the final corner to try and get more speed coming through the 3rd sector. And his next lap isn't invalidated. Interesting. So the game will allow that. Okay. I didn't think it would allow that, but there you go, it does. Let's see, how quick is his first sector? I wonder. It's basically matching his first time, isn't it? So it hasn't found him a huge advantage, but it's definitely an advantage nonetheless. Wow.
Yeah, it'd be interested to see how the double reserve Mercs are going. As the Rock catches the back end going through turn 4. So, the Mercedes has not given their team a lot of worth coming into the start of the season. It's kind of a big shock, really. You know, they got the #1 pick for the team, and they just haven't really shown up. It's just It's just disappointing towards Mercedes as a whole.
It is a bit disappointing, but regardless, they've got very capable hands behind the wheels of those Mercs. Wingman and the Rock are both very capable and very quick drivers. Both of them are going to be setting times within the 7s. I don't think they'll be towards the top of the table per se, but they'll definitely give it a red hot go. As Jay Banks jumps to the top of the table, beating Amazing Hour by a bit under half a tenth of a second, doing a 1:06.730. Absolutely astonishing. I can't believe how close these two are at the top. And then just below that, P3 down to P6 is separated by only a tenth of a second. That is absolutely unbelievable.
Yes, Billy just finished his time and he only improved by 6/100ths.
So,
So,
hello! Look at the top of the table. Is that actually correct? Am I saying this right?
he set the time second.
But he's in front. It's the exact same time.
How many decimals are we going down? Because it's ended in a 0, so it can't go any further.
There must be an extra one that the game counts or something, because they've set exactly the same time. GeForce Giannis and J-Banks, both of them setting 1:06.730. They are identical in time. That is insane.
I don't know how that. Maybe Giannis left the pits first. But it's whoever sets the
I don't
time.
know.
It's whoever sets the fastest time. But
I don't know.
if Amazing Hour can't respond, or let alone J Banks, Giannis takes it technically. Funny enough, unless there's going to be a switch at
that's
the
where
end.
the game's put in, so
That's incredible.
hey, ho, away we go.
I wonder
That's
if
how it goes.
I wonder if the driver got to see purple sectors when he was doing that lap, because it's purple, because he is the fastest
Well,
technically.
the green one even. I mean,
Yeah.
does the track just have a fit? Does the track map have a fit? Doesn't know what to do. Dear me. As another driver drops down into the sixes, that's GeForce Aaron in 4th place. 1 minute 6.897 puts him P4 just in front of his teammate who has invalidated his flying lap. So he'll have to either back off and do another, or he'll come into the pits and put on a fresh set of soft compound tyres and go right out at the end of the session. But that is incredible. That is
Yeah, I have never seen a joint first and the second driver being placed above. I've never seen that.
Yeah, interesting. It's interesting that the game does that, because in real life, whoever sets the time first gets preference. So
Yeah,
it should be
because you've really set the time for, you've really just crossed the line first, so you should get that spot. It's not, it's first in best dress really with these times. Oh,
A very famous example of this was the 1997 European Grand Prix at Jerez, with 3 drivers setting the exact same time. Gilles Villeneuve, Michael Schumacher, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen, all of them setting at the same time. But because Villeneuve set it first, he got to start from pole position. It's just, it's very strange that the game has allowed that. There must be an extra digit that we don't get to see or something.
yeah, as big as the telemetry is, we don't get to see anything past it. But it's turning into 0. What's going on?
Well, Amazing Hour is on an out lap. I imagine this will be his final lap in this session, with only 2 minutes 50 seconds left in said session.
What I'm interested to see is if he does one lap just to drain that fuel to get the maximum weight out of the car off, really. Because I know certain drivers keep the pit limiter on to drain as much fuel as they can and then do a lap, and then they've really just got one lap to pull it off.
He's chucked it up into hot lap mode, so
he's going for it.
It.
Yeah, so we'll stay on board with Amazing Hour, because he was the round 1 winner with an insane effort on those softs. So let's see if he can recreate something special in qualifying as well, going back-to-back pole positions. He goes through the center S's. And we still have this backwards camera angle as it finally pivots us towards the first DRS straight. And going near the end of Sector 1, let's see if he improves. He has, but only just minor, but that is nearly enough to actually grab pole position. So he's going down to the sweeping right hand. A lot of drivers have issues with this. He goes into 5th for just a half a second, then switches into 6th. So he's clearly watched Dougie's hot lap, and he's going into the final bit of the circuit, splitting into the famous Lewis Hamilton T-bone into Albon.
Let's get out of the way.
Hopefully,
He might give an accidental toe here to Amazing Hour. He is indeed.
And he's going to keep that nice narrow line. He's got to have a double toe, ultimate slipstream. And he is going to pull the 6s, and he does. It's an 0.66. Wow, a full 10th, nearly a full 10th quicker than Giannis, who was also on his out lap. So, but he is now putting in a huge effort to extend his lead in Tier 1.
So we've got 2 drivers. Both of them are about to start their final flying laps. Giannis is going to be the first one to try and beat Amazing Hour's 1 minute 6.636. 30 seconds left in the session. Here we go. The Ferrari man. He's heading up to turn 1. The center S. Nice and wide on the entry. Brings the car towards the apex. Second gear. Short shifts to 3rd and short shifts to 4th. Through Curva de Sol. Turn 3. Keeps the car nice and narrow. tries to minimize the distance down the Retro Costa. Now heading into the Cedar do Lago, and he's up. He's up by 600th, and he's invalidated at the Cedar do Lago. Oh no.
Yeah, he is going to maintain this lap though. He wants to see what time he pulls. But we'll go to Jay Banks, who's also on his lap as well. Hopefully he doesn't invalidate the same area. He has not.
As Ben has decided to crash out at turn 4, you can see his dot on the mini-map.
Safest way to get the car out the way during qualifying.
Fair enough. He's currently
I guess.
17th place.
Get the mechanics working. It's amazing
That's
how
amazing, though.
he does the retirement as well as Plevs. But
Plevs has crashed on the track.
hopefully he's not in the way of all the other cars. But we have to stay on board with Jay Banks because I have a feeling he might squeeze into that P2 slot.
But here we go. Through the final corner. Keeps as far to the left as he can. It's a 1 minute 6.
He does.
1 minute 6.655. That is incredible. 200ths of a second separating the top two. That is insanely close. Aaron is up by a 10th. Coming through the second sector, he comes across the line and jumps to P4. He jumps up to the second row. Can anyone else do anything? ACW has damage. I wonder if he and Plebs had a coming together at turn 4. I wonder. I did see a Red Bull off the racetrack at turn 5. I wonder if there's a correlation between the two. Regardless, it's a massive improvement for ACW. And AU Wingman also in the 1 minute 6s, just by literally a thousandth of a second.
Yeah.
He finds himself in P6 on the third row here at Sao Paulo.
He's doing Mercedes well. He's doing Mercedes well coming in.
Flying Mercedes flag.
But like the time difference from P1 to 4th is
it's stupidly close.
It's a breeze difference. It's such a small margin.
This is what Brazil is very much capable of doing. It's, honest to God, one of the best racetracks ever designed, period. It has this incredible ability to generate some really awesome racing in both the real world and in the virtual world as well. You can see also that the margins are so fine between these drivers. It's absolutely ridiculous. But there we go. Your final qualifying results. Amazing Hour will start on pole position with Jay Banks in P2, Giannis in P3, Aaron P4, Wogboy P5, Wingman P6. An excellent bit of qualifying there. ACW, massive improvement in P7. Mackenzie Stewart in P8. GeForce Crossy jumps up from Diamond to Masters. He's in P9, gaining away from rounds after top 10. And all of them will be starting on the softs, unless it rains, of course, which is entirely possible here in Brazil. Should be an absolutely excellent race.
Yeah, it should be a phenomenal race. But we'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, once the cars are on the grid. See you soon.
flinched the title. And it was an absolutely excellent race, full of unpredictability, as well as mixed weather conditions with dry and intermediate conditions. Sort of typical Interlagos behaviour. The drivers are now coming around to the pit straight, and they're going to fall into their respective grid slots, ready for round 2 of the DNE Masters Championship here at the Green Gem of Sao Paulo, the home of Brazilian motorsport, and generally speaking, one of the greatest racetracks to ever be created. Let's see what it's got on offer for us tonight. Drivers build up their revs. We'll have 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go here at Interlagos. And Amazing Hour's got a good start, but he has to try and cover the inside line. Jonas around the outside. He'll have the inside for turn 2. He slots himself into the lead. Coming through 3. Oh my word, thanks. Having a massive tank slapper as well. Heading into turn 3. Down the Retroposta they go. Jonas leads. Amazing Hour second. Aaron in third. Banks fourth. Wildboy slots down to 6th place, being overtaken by Mackenzie Stewart, who has had a superb start. There's a spin in the background. Who is that? That's Hazard, I believe. Down in 20th place. He's now separated from the pack. You can see here that the midfield, it's just a car park coming through the tight and technical second sector. On board with Tao, you can see all the drivers bunching up, trying to find room on the racetrack, trying not to lose track position as well. But everyone gets through relatively okay. It was an excellent start for the Ferrari of G-Force Jonas. He leads the way back onto the pit straight, but Amazing Hour is right in behind. He looks to the inside, he uses overtake, and he retakes the lead. And that's the end of lap 1, beginning of lap 2. See all the drivers trying to filter through turns 1 and 2. Everyone gets through relatively okay. A not so chaotic start here in Brazil.
Yeah, so off the start alone in the first lap, Finn Kelly takes 6 positions on those softs, so he had a brilliant start. And then Maka as well gained 3 positions just from that first lap alone, but obviously the biggest loser from lap 1 was G-Force Hazard with that slight side pod contact causing him to spin out. But like you said, Amazing Hour regained that position with the overtake button, but both users ran out of ERS on that front straight, so let's see how long they maintain it. But literally look at the difference of the interval. They're all within that second, so not much of an error has been caused, but they need to find an area to overtake, as Finn Kelly has decided to take another move, and he's pushed up. Spilly's actually got to fight back here. Pit strategy enters. It's going to be soft to mediums, or soft to hards, or mediums to hards around the same lap time. But it's getting nice and close. Finn Kelly's fighting out with Spilly here, side by side throughout that whole lap, really.
Very good stuff. Very good to watch. And I think Finn might be thinking of a move here into 1. No, he'll back out. But Spilly locks up. That will compromise his run through turn 2. Can Finn Kelly get the switch back? No, he can't. But Tal is lining himself up very nicely. Might try a double overtake here if he can get a run, but can't really. Both drivers in front have got the earth contact between Finn Kelly and Spilly. Dearie me. They both lose a position to Tao. So Tao technically did do a double overtake. Kind of.
Yeah, overtake of the week worthy, really. but those positions alone that he gained has just put him back where he started. So obviously those softs had a better run off the start of the race. So, but Finn Kelly's still gaining 5 positions off the 2 laps. It's still phenomenal work. But it really shows that one small error and you can lose many positions since the field is just so tight.
And then at the beginning of lap 4, Amazing Hour leads, and he's starting to sort of pull away from Jonas. Not completely. Sector 3 yellows, that's a rock. He's had a moment coming out of Junso, turn 12, probably the most important corner on the racetrack, as it dictates pretty much the entirety of the 3rd sector. Yeah, Jonas sort of hovering at that 1/8 of a second margin. Not really closing in on Amazing Hour, but he isn't falling away too much as Tao Gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Definitely going to play that part
As the
in
gaming
this
wafer
race.
just pulled off a move down the inside using DRS and held that inside line throughout to make that move on ACW. He's slowly fallen off the field here as he was battling with Crossy, but he just couldn't maintain that pace against Wafer when he was coming alongside. But like you can see here, Amazing Hour is pulling that time away ever so slowly. He's nearly out of that DRS.
And he's very much enjoying the clear air. Is Amazing Hour. He's not completely gone. Giannis is still hanging in there, only just. Regardless, he is hanging in there. Aaron is just in behind P3. J Banks right behind him in P4. And we've got a sort of gap. So we've got a top 4 forming. And we've got a battle for P5. Mackenzie Stewart, Wildboy, and Wingman. 5, 6, and 7 as they're heading through to Cedar Dulaga. We've sort of got this battle pack forming. Then behind them, Crossy, Wafer, ACW, another battle pack of 3. Tal is sort of by his lonesome. Kelly and Spilly are still dishing it out between each other. Then we've got this battle pack behind them.
Yeah.
With Chit, Plebs, Hazard, Bodhon, and Roscoe on. 14th all the way down to 18th place, and not too far behind them is El Tonki in 19th. So plenty going on up and down the field. Hopefully we can see that continue across the 36 laps of this race. Amazing Hour, he's still not out of the second just yet. Sort of gains 2 or 3 tenths in the second sector, then loses it all within the third and first sectors because of the DRS as Wogboy makes a move on Mackenzie Stewart for 5th place. Can Mac a counter-attack heading into turn 4? Wogboy parks the car in the middle of the road. Will he go defensive? No, Maka didn't feel like he was close enough as Giannis gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Already only 6 laps in of 36, and already these guys are gathering warnings. Not painting a very nice picture towards the end of the race, does it?
Nah, it really doesn't. But Maka has gained 2 positions, and he's on the back of Wogboy. As you saw, he made a move into turn 1 to regain that position. So, well, yeah, like you was mentioning before, it's just little packs are forming because people are just battling each other and they're just losing time towards the leaders who've got a little bit of free air. So it's just slowly forming, as you can tell by even the track map. They're in groups of 3s, 4s. It's going to look like that for the rest of the race unless someone goes for an under or overcut to make the difference, because I think that's the only way you'll be able to get away from these fights.
Now Giannis has gained quite a bit of time on Amazing Hour. I've noticed that Amazing Hour is running low on ERS. He's spending quite a bit to try and break the second gap between himself and second place. But that's failed from the looks of things. Still hovering around 10 and 11% in ERS. That's bound to be a warning from Giannis coming through turn 7. Tends to be a hot spot through there. If you run wide with all 4 tyres over the white line, instant warning. So, but yeah, we've got this sort of battle pack of 4 really forming now between the top 4. Amazing Hour, Giannis, Aaron, and J Banks. All of them almost half a second apart from each other. So very good stuff. Very, very close.
And with the combination of DRS, Giannis is able to not use his overtake button as much as Amazing Hour. That's why his Amazing Hour's overtake button is so drained compared to Giannis. But Aaron, who's quite similar to Amazing Hour on ERS, has also got DRS, but he's just trying to maintain the pace to Giannis because he's dropping nearly out of that 1 second mark. As Giannis goes for a move.
Down the inside, and he gets the move done, but I think he would have copped the warning for that. Almost certain of it. Through turn 6, both Giannis and Amazing Hour go through. Now into turn 8, now turn 9. Let's see, what will Amazing Hour do? Will he stick in behind Giannis, or will he counter-attack? I think it's going to be the latter. Here we go, into turn 11. fast downhill left-hander that narrows up dramatically on exit. You do have to be careful. So Tonki gets 3 seconds next to his name. Through turn 12, Jim Stowe. Let's see, up the hill. Turn 14, DRS open. Into turn 15, the final corner. Doesn't use overtake. He's actually going to stay in behind for a little bit. Just try and recharge the batteries.
Yeah, it's a pretty wise move because he'll be able to save quite a bit of ERS, and then once he makes the move, he could be able to dump it and pull out of that 1 second mark, because at the moment, even Giannis isn't using any on the straight, so Giannis is quite conservative with his ERS, so that's quite wise from him as well. So even though he's in front, he's saving as much as Amazing now at the moment, so it's got to be quite an interesting battle when he decides to put the hammer down.
Seems that Wingman has lost a bundle of places. He's now fallen down to 10th place. I believe he was formerly in about 8th or so, maybe even 7th. Oh no, that's right, he was in 7th. He was battling Wogboy and Mackenzie Stewart for 5th, but now he's fallen all the way down to 10th. And now Crossy is starting to catch Wogboy and Stewart, so this is going to turn into a 3-way fight once again, and Gaming Wave is not too far behind. Neither is ACW, so we might see a really good battle pack develop over the course of the next few laps. We now proceed on to lap 10 of 36. Giannis still leads. Amazing Hour is in 2nd place. Is Amazing Hour going to attack? No, he's not. Still going to wait patiently, but Aaron is running very, very low on ERS. He's gained about 12 or so percent in the braking zone of turn 4.
As Macca and Crossy are side by side, sorry to jump in, and they're just going to go side by side through the fast right hand. No, he's got to slip right behind. So Macca Stew and Mogboy are just basically switching positions every two laps, really, just finding the opportunity for DRS. And this is the reason why these packs are starting to form, is these guys are just battling it out, and the pack behind them are slowly catching up over time. So we might have a longer conga line at the end of this in a couple laps time if they keep this up.
See there as well, Big Church in 15th getting a 3-second time penalty, becoming quite a common occurrence to see in the bottom left of the screen. Yeah, you can see there's this sort of definite top 4, then this almighty midfield coming down the pitch straight. Wogboy takes back that 5th place as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're just rotating as AU Wingman pits first.
Interesting, 11 laps in. And Mac is probably going to return the favour. No, he's not. Going to wait in behind Wogboy. Wogboy missing the apex of turn 5 by about 2 light years. Dearie me, he ran very low through there.
And Wingman's opted for the mediums.
Sector 2, and Plez is out.
Oh.
Right on board
Safety
with
car.
Tonki. And the safety car has been deployed, and there's Plebs. That McLaren very much dead.
Seems like,
AU
Wingman nearly lost it. So AU Wingman pitting that lap, unfortunately, has put him in 19th, and he'll stay there because everyone else probably might pit as Giannis goes in, and everyone else will follow.
Everyone will be going into the pits.
Because the pit strategy was roughly around 13 laps.
Yeah.
So under safety car conditions, it should be right.
Oh,
5 seconds, 5 seconds. Were these guys racing towards the line, trying to get one more extra spot?
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, they cost each other a little bit of time. I can't say much. I did exactly the same thing in the Diamond race. I completely misjudged pit entry and got 5 seconds. Luckily, I served that in another pit stop towards the end of the race.
Yeah, and because Tao started on the mediums, he has to go for his hards now. So everyone else has gone for mediums, except for a few people have gone for the hards, but El Tonki decided to stay out.
Interesting. I don't know necessarily. Like, yes, you get a bundle of track position, but in the end, it doesn't really serve you a great deal of purpose. You've missed out on a free pit stop, effectively, at kind of a critical pit window time. So, like, you can easily chuck on the hards and go to the end of the race. And even if there's another safety car come out, I don't think many, unless it's sort of 10 laps or so towards the end, I don't think any of these guys would think about pitting again, even if there's another safety car. So,
Nah.
yeah, I think.
I mean,
We'll
maybe
see
if
how
there's
it
like
goes.
7
We'll
laps to
never
go, maybe if they see the person in front of them jump onto soft, but still, such a track for hard for overtakes. So,
We'll see how it goes. It's an interesting strategy call. It puts both Haas's inside the top 10 with gaining Wafer in 8th place. But I don't know how long he'll try and hold on to that.
as
If he
our
does go
Tonki.
into the pit,
Yeah.
he didn't want a double stack, is what it was. He wanted to give it a lap, just so then the pit crew can properly reset. Very interesting. There's a couple more coming into the pits as well.
But hot
Robots
as well.
coming in for a new set of mediums. Roscoe's going onto the hard tire. Interesting.
It seems that the game has decided to not clear up how many laps these drivers have done. So they are on 12-lap-old mediums and hards for me.
Apparently so.
So, whatever. Esports ready.
This has just become a problem. Like, this wasn't a thing.
They go backwards.
2019.
I think they just go backwards sometime. I know they've messed around with the telemetry. Like, clearly the left-hand side has been edited. It is a lot bigger.
Yeah.
There is a lot of spacing now. But how do you even get, like, maybe a medium? How do you get a tyre slightly out of line? How do you get how many laps they've done wrong? How do you go backwards after a new game?
Like, not even 1 or 2 laps out. It's 12 laps out.
Yeah. You might as well just give us the intervals that are completely wrong. Like, even last week we had no intervals show up for 6 drivers until they cross the start-finish line again to reset it. As the safety car is in this lap. So Giannis will back up the crew nice and slowly. Hopefully no one gets a 5-second, because most likely they will not pit just to make sure that is removed. But let's see where he puts the hammer down, as he does now. He's put it down nice and early.
He does the exact opposite of what Hamilton did in 2019, and he gets an excellent start. Amazing Hour furiously moving the steering wheel, trying to get some temperature into those tyres. I noticed under safety car restarts, it's quite difficult to try and get temperature into the tyres, particularly the rears. I've noticed I've struggled with. I'm sure these guys have found ways around it, as Banks is seriously under attack from Wogboy in 5th place. Into turn 4, right on goal with Stewart. This might be a good view. But go back to Wogboy. There we go. Wogboy, can he find any room? Can he send it down the inside anywhere? Not really. Sector 2 is not a sort of overtaking area, as Alex Alron found out.
He locked up quite hard just so he didn't make contact as well. So he's lost a few tenths there, but he'll bounce back coming onto this straight. Everyone's got huge amount of ERS enabled.
As Bonhod made another pit stop as well.
He's opted for the
gone up to the
softs.
softs.
So maybe he had wing damage. Maybe.
I think so, maybe. But anyway, Giannis leads the way and begins lap 15 of 36. Amazing Hours right in behind it, and so is Aaron Banks. He's lost a little bit of time, but he's almost within a second of the car in front. If he can keep within that second, he keeps himself in the battle for the top 3. Wogboy is in behind him in 5th, and Mackenzie Stewart, G-Force Crossy, Kevin Wafer, and ACW. He finds himself in 9th, and Spilly rounding out the top 10. What's going on back here? I see. He's jumping up and down there. Oh, dearie me, it's Roscoe and Tonki. Bit sideways out of turn 4. Luckily, they didn't create an accident or anything like that. Very easy to lose the car, and can be a bit difficult to try and gather it up again. Luckily, they did. Yana still leads away, half a second separating himself to Amazing Hour. Aaron has now dropped down to 1.1 seconds to Amazing Hour. So this may prove critical towards the battle for the race win. He really desperately needs to try and get within 1 second of the top two. Otherwise, he's in deep, deep trouble. Banks also just outside of the second to Aaron as DRS is now re-enabled. Amazing Hour will definitely get it. Oh, and Aaron will only just get it. Banks won't. So that may prove to be the defining blow for Banks in trying to get a podium finish here in Brazil. Looking back, everyone seems to be behaving themselves from the looks of things.
SD and Finn Kelly just having a little battle between themselves, going side by side into the sweeping. But they're just having a nice little battle. It's nice and clean. That's what you want to see as well. They're giving each other plenty of space. Very respectful.
There we go. Oh, hello. That's
Sector
good.
2. Oh, no, as I was saying that. Oh, no, dearie me.
And that's an end plate, I think. He somehow made contact with the outside wall at the exit of turn 9.
Maybe just put the gas down a little bit too quick. Maybe you just spun it like what I did, but I didn't hit the wall. I went spinning and Tokyo drifted and mowing the lawn all at the same time into the next turn. But DNE Tail and AU Wingman are having a little bit of a tussle, defending well on those hard compound tyres, still getting them nice and warm.
Yeah, I noticed in the diamond race that the hards are a bit garbage at the beginning of their stint as Chits retires from the session. He's had enough for tonight. But yeah, in those sorts of first 10 or so laps, the hard tyre really, really underperforms in comparison to the medium tyres. That much better in those first sort of 10 laps. Towards the end, though, it starts to equal out. As Spilly is going to make a move here on ACW, looking around the outside of turn 11, he is able to get the move done. But if he can get a good run through turn 12, he might be able to set up a move into turn 1. It doesn't really look like it, though. Both drivers have DRS. Yeah, no, I don't think it's quite close enough. Unless he wants to massively send it as Giannis gets a 3-second time penalty. The race leader now got 3 seconds next to his name. Amazing how just giving him a whole heap of pressure that he doesn't want to deal with as Banks and Wogboy are now battling for 4th. So Banks. Oh, and hello, Mackenzie Stewart. Oh, in contact! And off goes Stewart. And off goes Wogboy, being spun round. Dearie me.
Wowee. You get so excited you dropped your mic.
Oh, I accidentally knocked it over, yes.
Yeah.
Bugger. But
Yeah.
Wogboy had fallen to 16th place. Dearie me.
And now Crossy's all on the back of Macca Stewart's on him now. But, it's the rev glitch. Just pops up whenever it likes to. But we caught it,
Hello.
but I wasn't really watching at that time. What, were they side by side and they just moved
They were
across?
side by side, and yeah, Wogboy didn't know that Mackenzie was on his left, and he sort of pushed him off the racetrack. And because of the contacts, it sent Wogboy into a spin for some reason. I'll save the recording. It's very, very different.
We caught it, because we caught a nice front-on view of it, so it'll give us a great breakdown afterwards. But as people are already commenting, fantasy ruined. Obviously, a lot of people had Wogboy in their team. Obviously, a great performance last week, but such an unfortunate error between these two drivers just caused that incident to occur. As Amazing Hour is looking like he really wants to make this move.
Yeah, he looks racy at the moment. Through turn 12, he gets a good run. Not quite good, not quite as good as a Ferrari, but pretty good nonetheless. Gets DRS. He might line up and overtake here if he's ballsy. No, he won't. He'll sit him behind. Let's see, what will he do heading into Cedar del Lago? Turn 4. Let's see, DRS open once again. Will he use overtake? No, he won't. Looking back at Aaron, he's spending a fair amount of ERS to keep up with the top two. Hovering around those sort of mid to low teens, and then through here he gains it back up as Wogboy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Hear me. Lots of penalties here and there. Now, I'm just going to check that actually. So I know Giannis has got 6 seconds. Wow. Worth of penalties next.
So I know Amazing Hour doesn't want to be that driver. He wants to win the race first. He wants to cross the line first. But if it makes his life easier and it might keep the car nice and safe, he might as well just stay in the slipstream. Because if you know GeForce Aaron is behind and using all the ERS, and he hasn't made a move on you once, but I don't think that's about to happen as he decides to back out. Because, yeah, you might just think, the driver in front's got 6 seconds, maybe the driver behind's got 3. If Aaron wants to make a move, I'll let him go. But then again, yeah, it's just driver mentality at the end of the day. These guys want to cross the line first. They don't want to take it to the reports, just in case they do get removed, all that stuff. So,
well, you see, Amazing Hour might desperately need to get a move on because Amazing Hour's on no penalties. He's got 1 warning next to his name. It's the same case for GeForce Aaron. He's only got 1 warning next to his name as well. So, although Amazing Hour could quite simply sit in behind Giannis and just sort of wait, he has to worry about GeForce Aaron. They're on the exact same time penalties. They both have none. And if Giannis makes a mistake and Amazing Hour can't avoid it or something like that, and he loses time or he gets damaged, then Aaron comes into play. So, and ideally, you want clear air. You want to try and pull away. You want to try and pull as far away as you can from your rivals. Let's see, what is he going to do now? Is he going to use overtake? No, he's not. He's going to play a very long game, it seems.
Because he's got so much more ERS. He's got 40% more. So, and obviously from Aaron's penalties, he's only got 1 warning. So he's learnt his lesson from last week, where penalties can change the whole outcome of the race. But hopefully these guys start really putting the hammer down. Because Amazing Hour, I reckon as soon as he makes I feel like he's going to make a move on this lap and then ERS dump, because he's nearly back at 100%. So I have a feeling that he's going to really go for it.
Let's see. Through the effective final corner.
And he's set overtake on early.
And here we go. It's a very straightforward move. An excellent run through turn 12. A bit of overtake. And he gets past the Ferrari with ease. Amazing Hour becomes a new race leader on lap 23 of 36. Now, what is Giannis going to do in reply? Is he just going to do what Amazing Hour did? Sort of sit behind for a while, then plan an overtake? What's going on back here?
Yeah, what is I've just seen like 2 overtakes done.
As El Ponky makes a mistake, heading into turn 14, seems to be relatively okay. There's a lot of runoff there, so I don't think he'll have damage. Look at this, we've got a battle pack of 5 cars, all in this nice little train. Gaming way for Spilly, ACW, Town, and Wingman finds himself just outside of the top 10.
So Banana Cake Pie gave us a quick analysis of what happened between Macca and Wogboy. Was Macca had a nose inside, and when Wogboy just moved over, you just got clipped. That's all. Just got the back end of him and just caused him to spin out. Just in that blind spot.
I guess it was enough for the game to say, right, you're going to spin out now. And yeah, it ultimately cost Wogboy a lot of position. Well outside of the 10 as Wingman makes a move to Town. You can see how the mediums are really starting to play into this. Yeah, those hard tyres really won't start to switch on until about 10 laps to go. So these medium tyres are still the better tyre to be on. Then it will sort of be even Steven for about 5 or so laps at the moment. So we got a battle first between 3 cars. Then we got J Banks, who's all boys lines from fourth. Got Crossy and Marco Stewart in P6. They're battling it out for 5th. Then we got this battle pack of 5 battling it out for 7th. Behind them, even. We got Hazard in 12th, so the boys line was Roscoe Arm and Finn Kelly are fighting it out for 13th. We sort of got a little battle that might turn up with 15th place, the Rock and Wog Boy. So there's a lot going on up and down the field. Even 25 laps into this, we've still got battles going. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Now, top 2 are starting to pull away. Aaron is now fallen outside of 1 second. So Mackenzie still gets a 3-second time penalty. Now, if he can't get within 1 second of the top 2, he's in deep, deep trouble if he wants to try and take on Amazing Hour for the race win. Because remember, Giannis has got 6 seconds worth of penalties next to his name. Takes him very much out of the sort of fight for the win. And even he might be in trouble for podium if he doesn't keep an eye on Josh Banks in P4. So a lot of work to do for the Ferrari driver. Oh, he only just gets DRS Theory V. We've got some more overtaking. Mackenzie Stewart slots himself into 5th place, heading into the center S. Spilly made an overtake on the pit straight on the Gaming Wafer. I reckon Wafer might counter-attack here. Overtake mode through turn 3. Will he use a bit? Maybe not. No, he won't. He'll slot in behind Spilly. Oh, and we'll get a warning there for sure.
Yeah, 100% for that. How do these drivers just stay so composed, being behind a driver for so many laps? Like, knowing that they could just send it, but not at the same time, they obviously don't want to cause an incident. But like, how many laps have these guys just been behind each other, just around that 4/10 mark? It'd be just a little bit frustrating, knowing that they're doing all they could, and they just seem to just can't make a dent. But it is a waiting game. There we go. As Gaming Wafer makes a mistake and covers his space, ACW gets a lot of a better run out. He'll get that DRS and he'll slip around the outside. I don't think Gaming Wafer is going to let this go for free, as he actually does. He's going to slip behind around the outside of him as AU Wingman decides to retire. He was quite far up the grid, was he not?
He was. I don't know why he's decided to retire. But
what's up to the prompt for that?
Don't know.
Ah.
But never mind that. We've got a battle for his lead because Giannis has re-overtaken Amazing Hour for said race lead. He did that into turn 1. Amazing Hour didn't counter-attack into turn 4. He's just stayed in behind. And that's what Aaron back into this. He's now well within a second of the top 2. He was a little bit outside it before these two started battling. It's very interesting. Giannis still very much fighting for a race win, even though he's got 6 seconds. Oh, that's tight defending from Giannis. Tight, but I think fair. He left the cars width down the inside. Enough space to let Amazing Hour through. Oh, that's a bit argy-bargy though.
As Aaron's going to get a run on both of them.
And say hello to GeForce Aaron in the Red Bull. Who does he follow? Does he follow Amazing Hour or Giannis? Giannis goes deep, pulls the car up. That will be a warning. Oh, and side by side between the Red Bull and the Ferrari, and the Red Bull comes out on top. But dearie me, that was some rough stuff between the Racing Point and the Ferrari through the center S. Very tight defending. Some brutal racing, but I think fair.
Yeah, I think it was fair as well. But at the same time, I think Giannis has got a lesson to learn, and he lost 2 positions from it as well. It was quite. I mean, both drivers as well. I mean, it was great aggressive driving. You know, all within the rules. But I think Amazing Hour will happily take that P1 slot, and because Giannis has dropped behind Aaron as well, I think Giannis is gonna have to do twice as much work to get back to that Amazing Hours DRS, because he's already pulled 8/10 from Aaron. I don't think Aaron can maintain the current pace is what Giannis and Amazing Hour was doing to be that middleman, but he did maintain that DRS, it being in third. So, but he's on 2%. He's really low. Every braking zone is his best friend right now to gain that ERS, to just use as much as he can to gain that. But
in fairness, Amazing Hour isn't looking that much better. He's hovering around 6% at the moment. He spent a fair amount to try and get past the Ferrari.
yeah, but Giannis is still hovering around that 30%. I don't think he's dropped down that 20% mark, but there's throughout this whole sector 2 and into 3, they can gain a good 20-30% back. So
I was riding on board with Giannis, and that is the most odd way to use overtake that I have ever seen. He used it at turn 10 at the apex, like even before the apex. He had the car in overtake mode, sort of in the braking zone, and he had it in overtake mode at the apex, and just when he left the apex at turn 10, then he switched it off. I have never seen that before. The driver uses overtake mid-corner. Like, I get on corner exit, for sure, but mid-corner? That's it.
Maybe it was a slip of the thumb.
I don't know. Maybe it was just a mistake on his part. I'm not sure.
but yeah, maybe it could be the ultimate strategy as Wogboy. Oh no, VSR Roscoe output pits.
Yeah.
So has he made a mistake? Is he getting a wing change? Oh, he has spent 28 laps on those hards. Funny enough. But that was a glitch, obviously. He only spent 17 laps on those hards. He's got to pull for try and steal the fastest lap.
Yeah,
Make sure no one gets it. Yeah, did the team thing.
Exactly.
As 7/10 is the difference between the lead here. As both drivers up the top, P1 and 2 have no penalties and only one warning between them. Giannis with 6 seconds, so he will drop the position to Banks if he has 0 seconds as well. So it's all coming down to this again.
Banks. No, Banks has got the same amount of penalties.
He's got the same amount, so this is our current and final, most likely, unless something happens. Top 3.
Oh, Aaron hasn't fallen away.
He hasn't. No, the DRS is really helping him.
Aaron hasn't got any ERS to play with. Neither does Aaron, in fairness, but Aaron's got DRS, so he's able to keep up, and he's not losing time in the second sector. And now, Amazing Hour has got a bit of traffic in front, and it's the Ferrari of Bodhog, reserve driver, currently in 17th place, as DNEsports gets another 3-second time penalty. And yeah, Amazing Hour pulls away about 3/10 in the middle sector, but it's all for nothing because Aaron gets DRS. He's able to claw back all that time in the third and first sectors. See here, looks like that goes 5/10, 4/10 now, into the braking zone of the center S. Amazing Hour, that's a mighty lockup, but he doesn't seem to lose too much momentum. Through curve of the Sol, and Aaron will get DRS once again, 3/10. Closing in on 2/10 of a second. So it's sort of fluctuating a little bit between these two. But both of them very, very low on ERS. But yeah, Aaron just getting that slight advantage with the DRS, able to claw back all the time lost in Sector 2. Fantastic stuff at the moment. Race lead battle has been going on every single lap as Roscoe does an 8-9 and steals fastest lap. Currently in 15th place. He's making sure nobody gets it. Giannis is still keeping himself in this fight as well. Aaron's lost a fair amount of time actually.
Yeah, he just had a poor exit going into the start-finish line. He just seemed to have had a bit of wheel spin, caused him to lose 2/10 out of the exit. But we're coming down to the final couple laps, and it seems to be a bit of a yo-yo on the interval. It just seems to be quite comfortable. Hopefully, Botthod stays a good distance away so he doesn't get lapped, so he can finish off his stint, maybe even pull the fastest lap from Roscoe Arm. As Wogboy and Finn Kelly have decided to make a duel into turn 1, teammates. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of time between that and 10th place. 10 seconds is the difference. As no, they actually are battling it out, so these guys are having a bit of fun. No team orders. Fighting for fun. Even the middle of the pack from the conga line from Spilly is still is still evolved the whole time.
That is game, set, match. For GeForce Aaron, he's outside of a second. He was outside of a second. He's lost a fair amount of time. Let's see, is he within a second? Yes, he managed to claw it back. Dumped everything that he had to try and get back an amazing hour coming into the Red Aposta, and he managed to get DRS again. But yeah, coming onto the pit straight, these two are separated by just over a second. So, hello, is that Tao? It is in 10th place, and he's going to lose it as well, I think, to Hazard. Those tie temps will be absolutely all over the place.
Yeah, he had a lot of time between him and the next car as well as behind. It was 10 seconds. So he's just made a small mistake being on his lonesome. But now he really has to fight to keep that position. I know he's got a few time penalties. So hopefully that doesn't affect his that 1 point finishing. As you were mentioning, Aaron is fighting to stay in that DRS. And he only just claimed it again. So it's becoming a real issue for Aaron to try and maintain it, but Giannis has really dropped off. 1.4 seconds.
I'm thinking Travis, he's probably just got the white flag out. He did all that he could to try and hold on to the position.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that he's got penalties next to his name. If he fights with the two in front, it
might turn worse.
He might put them into a mistake, but he might put himself, into a mistake and ruin all the hard work that he's done.
Yeah.
So,
and to be fair, I think I noticed a yellow fuel light, so he might be saving at the moment compared to the other two. So you usually get a red or yellow light coming into the final lap, but he had yellow leading into it, so he must be in lane throughout this sector, and that's obviously going to lose some time to the next one. But Aaron just staying in that DRS, but he's got 25% to use, same with Amazing Hour. But going on this pace alone, with no mistakes given to both these drivers, they are going to finish the way they really did start. I think Aaron started a little bit further back. Let me just check the final placements where they jumped up.
He started in fourth place to GeForce Aaron.
Yeah, he's gone up 2 positions. Giannis and Amazing Hour stayed where they are. Spilly's up 5 positions. Finn Kelly up 6 from his effort on the softs of the early stint. But yeah, from that small contact, Wogboy went down 8 positions, but Macca Stew was in P5, so Renault looking pretty good at the moment. Tao staying on to 10th place, but at the moment, constructors-wise, it looks like Red Bull seem to be the best winners in the top 10, having both drivers in there in quite a high position. Just double checking. Yeah, Red Bull seem to be team of the day, having both drivers finish inside that thing. But we can't really forget about this driver. He's going back to back here at Interlagos.
An astonishing drive from Ella Amazing Hour. He wins in Australia. He wins again here in Brazil. 2 on the trot for himself in Racing Point. And again, 2 on the trot for Aaron as well. 2 second places in Brazil and Australia. I expected a good result for him again, and I was not disappointed. GeForce Giannis in the Ferrari, a valiant fight for the lead. ultimately results himself finishing on the last place on the podium in third. Jay Banks in the AlphaTauri, he was fighting with the top three until the safety car restart. He lost a fair amount of time and he ends up in fourth place. GeForce Crossy ends up in fifth with Mackenzie Stewart in sixth. Spilly in the Williams comes home in seventh place. Gaming Wafer comes home in eighth. ACW, massive improvement from last week in Australia. He comes home in the top 10 in ninth, and Tal hangs on to his 10th place as well, scoring 1 point.
So he kept it at the end.
He kept it just. Regardless, he kept it. Wow. A very nice Brazilian Grand Prix. A whole heap of battling. It wasn't incredibly entertaining. It wasn't like wheel-to-wheel stuff every single lap. As the game gives driver the day to Finn Kelly, he made up 7 positions over the course of this race, finishing just outside of the top 10. A very valiant effort for the Alfa Romeo driver. But here we go with podium celebrations. It's another win for Amazing Hour. Another step forward towards a potential Drivers' Championship. But still a long, long way to go. Aaron comes home in P2 for Red Bull, and Giannis comes home P3 for Ferrari. Yeah, I've definitely seen better Brazilian Grand Prix, but this certainly wasn't terrible in any way, shape, or form. A very, very nice race indeed. I can see a fair few drivers got penalties over the course of that race. I better just quickly snag race director just to make sure.
Yeah, so like you were saying, Amazing Hour goes back-to-back pole position as well as the race win, which is a fantastic effort for Racing Point. Aaron, who gets P2 starting on P4 on the grid, as that's what happened last week as well, but he did finish the race first due to penalties. He finished second. And Giannis just had a brilliant performance throughout, just had some time penalties on his name, but he sticked around and he stayed into P3, got onto that podium. Jay Banks actually got a qualifying lap in, so he got to be higher up the grid and he stayed in P4. And then Crossy on his debutant race, P5. So brilliant race between these guys. It was just so much speed. But we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get these drivers in for some interviews, and we'll see you guys shortly. Welcome everyone to the post-race interviews. In the commentary box, we have our winner, Amazing Hour, as well as the P2 driver, GeForce Aaron. Giannis will be hopefully with us shortly. But is there any comments you guys want to make before we start these interviews? Is there anything, any promotions or just let alone congratulations towards the grid that you guys want to mention?
I can mention stuff. Yeah, thanks to the boys at DNE again. I'm sure the stream was great. Can't wait to watch it back. You work pretty hard every week to get these races done, and yeah, good job. Good job to our GeForce again. You know, to Revs in third place, GG to Andrew in first. Thanks to everyone in the party again today. Expert, Zach, Swaggy, Serv and I. Just there was a lot of people involved in how the race went today. So yeah, thanks to those boys.
Amazing. Now, is there any comments you would like to make as well? Just overall? Just even how the race went?
Oh, look, I can just basically repeat what Aaron's got to say, to be honest. I mean, this has just been great fun to do these races. They've been awesome to watch back every time, even the bad ones. So, you know, can't wait to watch this one back. But, yes, congratulations to Aaron and Revo, obviously, fellow podium places. But, yeah, DNE has certainly been full of action-packed, bloody close racing, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, especially tonight. That was awesome fun.
All right, Smeg, I'll kick it over to you, big man. Take over these interviews because you've always got the right questions to say.
Yeah, right. I see my purpose. Yeah, right. But all right, then we'll start off with the race winner, Ella Amazing Hour. Mate, congratulations on your second victory of the season. And also congratulations on your pole position as well. It looked like quite a tight tussle between yourself, Giannis, and Aaron there. Just take us through your race as a whole, both qualifying and your Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah, qualifying was pretty good, I must admit. First lap was a bit average. I got balked by Plivs, I think it was, at the final corner, but he did tow me up the hill, so I guess that kind of made up for it. Second run was actually something quite similar, except I think it was Spilly who actually towed me up the hill. And then on the final run, I tried to get my teammate to do it, but didn't exactly work out so well, and I ended up getting I had two choices. I could either follow my teammate or a Williams, so yeah, that kind of made things a bit awkward, but no, qualifying as a whole was really good. The car felt really nice. I'm amazed actually at how close it was there at the end. At the midpoint of the session, I was thinking, okay, you know, probably be 2, maybe 3 guys that'll crack a 106. And I think there was less than 2 tenths covering the top 5 or something.
Yeah, it was insane.
So that did surprise me a little bit, to be honest. Always good to see though, as I feel like in those races in particular, it challenges you somewhat to, you know, it really makes you think about how you drive the car and where you want to make the moves. Yeah. And in the race, excuse me, in the race in particular, after the safety car restart, when I was just following Giannis for, I don't know, 5, 6 laps or whatever it was, I felt like I was quicker off the bat and I could have made a move, but I was thinking to myself, okay, the tyres are going to be on thin ice at the end. He's running at a good pace. The top 3 were actually pulling away. So I thought, okay, I'll sit behind him for a couple more laps. That definitely paid dividends, as I think we were able to gap 4th and 5th by about 5 odd seconds. And then that's when I decided that I was going to make a move, knowing also that Aaron was the only one, I think, around me who didn't have penalties, where I think Giannis had 3 or 6 or something. So my attention for the back half of the race was really on the Red Bull, if I'm brutally honest. Obviously, trying to keep an eye on both cars and what they were doing, particularly at that little scary moment through the centre S's was a bit awkward.
Noticed that between you and Giannis. That was some pretty tight stuff between you two.
I
you think it was respectful, fair? play between you two?
I don't know, I'd probably say it was a bit dodgy from the pair of us, to be honest. I mean, he stuck his nose in on a very shallow line, but, you know, I think we both went deep into the left-hander, which both put us in kind of an awkward position come turning right, because as we went to turn right, I actually couldn't see him. Proximity arrow disappeared, so I actually didn't know where he was. So I'm trying to turn in for the corner whilst trying to look to see where the Ferrari was, and all of a sudden he appeared, and I could see he was running like almost straight down the hill. So I knew at that point there was no way we were going to make the corner. So I had to back out of it. I got an illegal overtake, so I had to let him back through, and luckily I was able to keep the lead there because I was worried about Aaron sneaking through. So I just parked it on the inside, and I was lucky enough to hang on. And after that, the pace was really good. The car looked after its tyres really nicely. A few little mistakes here and there, mainly just a front brake lock. Turn 1 and turn 11 was really where I was struggling, if I'm honest, if I had to pick a weak spot.
Definitely noticed turn 1. Holy moly. There was some smoke coming from that front left tyre of yours on a couple of occasions.
It probably wasn't feeling too good afterwards, I'll be brutally honest, but no, just in general, that was probably one of the best races I've actually been in. That was a cracker of a race, just to be on the limit, you know, the entire time, and you know, be able to sit back here afterwards and feel like you did everything right, and you've really earned that victory. There was no luck based in it. You know, it come down head to head between myself and Aaron. I'm certainly not going to say I had that comfortably, because he just wouldn't leave me alone. Even when I turned the engine up, I'd get the gap to a second, and he'd just slowly come back towards me. And after that, I changed my thought process a little bit, and it was really just about trying to make sure I had fuel for the last few laps, and I had enough ARS so I could slingshot out of the final corner, get the run up the hill, and still be on the overtake button, probably by the pit lane entry. And if I could do that and still have that 6th, 7th, 10th buffer, which I did, I knew that he wouldn't be able to get close enough to try and move. Luckily enough, I was just able to keep that there. But man, can't take anything away from Aaron's drive though tonight. That was absolutely unreal. And the same for Giannis as well. All three of us were just absolutely on the ragged edge. I think I can't really sit here and say if one of us was, you know, quicker than the other two, as I really don't think we were. I think we're actually all that even on pace. You know, there was just no chance in anyone pulling away. So, 3-horse race for, I don't know, 90% of that race, I suppose you could say. But, just super happy to come away with the second win of the season, 2 on the trot. So, you know, pretty happy with that. I'm not too sure what that does for the constructors, but, good start to the season so far. So, just got to keep the head down and keep moving forward.
No, a very thorough examination of your race, mate. I can tell you've taken quite a sort of enjoyment out of your race, for sure. But, mate, congratulations on your second race win of the season and extending your championship lead as well. So, very well done.
Thank you.
Mr. Aaron, we'll go to you. It's your second play. How is that a sentence? God, I hate English. It is your second place. And a very, very fine fight between yourself, Giannis, and Amazing Hour for the race win. Take us through your race, qualifying and your Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah, how ironic. Another second place. I tend to get them quite a bit, and I just miss it, but oh well, that's okay. It's still a good result. Qualifying was pretty decent. I did a PB, but I still think I could have gotten a bit out of the lap, at least gotten to third place, but that's fine. Start was good. It was decent. I got ahead of Josh. We almost spun, which was pretty scary as well, actually. But we both held it together. And I just sticked in third. It was a pretty boring race in terms of overtaking and stuff. I couldn't get past Andrew or Revs ahead. Josh couldn't get past me, and we're just stuck in a train. Then there was no strategy to it. Literally, a safety car came out and it was just everyone boxed the mediums. And yeah, everyone came in, safety car went in, and yeah, we just Revs, Andrew and I just stuck together. Thankfully, Josh kind of dropped off. He didn't have the pace to stick with us. And I
He
kind
made
of
a
just...
bit of a net for the safety car restart, I think, and he pretty much instantly dropped out of the second to the top three. That's why he couldn't get it 5.
Which was ideal for me, obviously, because I don't have to worry about someone behind me. But yeah, Revs and Andrew just battled, and I was hoping something would happen. I knew Andrew didn't have a pen, but Revs had a few. So I knew I had Revs covered just as long as I stayed penalty free. But yeah, got ahead of Revs, and I just couldn't do anything. Andrew was just too quick. He used his ERS perfectly when he needed to, and I just couldn't get close enough, pretty much.
Both of you fellas were spending it like crazy. Holy God. Like you come up to the end of Sector 1, and you're both on like 2%. And you're just getting back in the second sector, and then you spend it all in the third. At exactly the same times as well. You were basically matching each other for pretty much most of the end of the race. And I think it was just really good stuff to watch in general, just to see two drivers really on the limit, giving it 10/10 and everything. It's really good to watch. And mate, I wouldn't be too concerned about getting a second place. You are guaranteed to get a victory at some point in this season. Your pace is very astonishing, and your consistency is astonishing as well. So I would be a little bit disappointed with the second place as well, but I wouldn't be too upset. I'd be looking forward to the next race in Mexico. But mate, you've done an absolutely superb job, and well done on the second place.
Cheers, thanks Maggie. Just thanks again to G-Force as well. Zach's done an amazing job to start it off, and yeah, it's going really well in DNE and Racespec and a whole bunch of leagues. We're trying to get the name out.
Off the devil, where the bloody hell is he? He's got a championship to defend.
Yeah,
I don't know where he is, to be honest.
The face of the company's not racing. What's going on? He won the championship last season. He doesn't want to fight for it, or is he just?
Want to see Zach again?
Yeah,
he's a busy man. He's a very busy man, and he loves to spend his Friday nights on the piss. So fair enough.
Yeah, that's
his
fair.
social life comes ahead of gaming, which is fine.
Honest, that doesn't actually sound like a bad idea.
Yeah. I do the same thing.
Yeah, when the restrictions start going down, of course, people do miss it, and
exactly.
It's very understandable.
Us Victorians are
We're
stuck
chilling.
to the couch pretty much.
Yeah,
so
we're chilling.
This is my life at the moment. I can't really do much else except train and work. So yeah, I love what I'm doing pretty much.
But thank you
very much, you two gentlemen, for joining us in the commentary house. And don't worry, Aaron. I know you're going to get a race win. I know it.
Thanks, Maggie.
I feel it in my bones. When I get a gut feeling, it's always right. Oh, well, some of the time anyway. But I think that will conclude round 2, Alcatraz, unless you've got anything to add on.
No, you smashed it out. So thank you for that, Aaron. Thank you for coming in.
Cheers, no worries. Thanks, boys, for the commentary.
Wowee. What a nice race in Brazil. A fantastic battle between the top 3 and battles throughout the midfield as well. It's sort of typical Brazil behaviour. These sort of groups form and they all just go at each other for like 10 or so laps. And then towards the end, it starts to simmer back down again. But still, it was absolutely fantastic. But that will conclude round 2. We have to move on to round 3, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the Mexican Grand Prix. Is it not?
Yes, we are. We are going to the Mexican Grand Prix, fast straights and whipping Sector 2. So it's going to be a fabulous race. And we're going to see a not abusing track limiting T1, hopefully, like we did last season. Unless it's broken still.
I think the people watching are either going to expect one of two things. One, they're going to see a fairly decent race, or two, me ranting about the Mexico circuit, because as you know me, no, I don't like the track. I have something against Mexico, and I might bring it up.
Yeah.
Next week,
maybe it'll rain as well.
If something
maybe
comes
it'll
up
rain as well.
That race, and it triggers me. Trust me, you want to tune in for that rant because it's going to be something else. I can assure you. But anyway, I think that'll conclude it, Mr. Akachos.
Yeah, I'll do the classic plug outro. So thank you to our sponsors, CD Keys and Track Racer. Links are in the description, as well as the music that you were listening throughout the stream. We would also like to thank Bothod for all of his work with the fantasy. Obviously, I know from the chat, a lot of people are potentially going to make moves if the current situation with Mercedes continues, which is make some big moves and start putting some pink drivers in there, the Mercedes 2.0. So thank you for watching the stream, guys. Thank you for sharing and commenting below. And remember to follow us on Twitch. We are streaming there at the same time. Twitch is actually 30 seconds quicker, so if you want to watch the action a little bit quicker, go to there and watch it there. And we also have our website. And crazy enough, we actually have a website that's also on our Twitch. But I think that's enough plugging. I think we need a good bev after this one. It's been a long race. It's been a long session. And we'll see you guys at the Mexican Grand Prix for round 3 at Dynamic Nights Esports Tier 1. See you guys.